For this lesson, Section 2, Objective 2, we are going to work on adding flip animations so he can shoot a gun, stun the knights, and have the knights continue moving after a timer is set. So, to begin, open up your flip. We're going to add a new animation called Shoot. Okay. This will be a single file, so we can go up to the Load Image File icon. Navigate to Flip Shoot. Zoom in here. Okay, so what we are going to do a little differently, on our left side here, our image point, we're going to add one. So right click and add new image point and click in front of the gun. So we are going to program so our images will be populated or generated from this point. So make sure it is in front of the gun. That is what you need. You can go ahead then and close. Before you close, go to the default collision points. Because we did add a new one, we now want to right click, apply to all animations. So now our shoot will have the similar framework that we need. Okay. All right, with your collision point and image point set, you can go ahead and select, close this window. Next, we're going to add a coconut object. This object, however, will be in this gray space. So it's an object we're going to use, but not need to have present at all times. So this is a sprite, coconut. Now this will be an animation. So down here, we're going to right click, import from strip. Select your coconut. You can see there's 6 here. So we will end up doing a 6x1 import. So a lot of the same steps we've always done. Now over here, select your animation to activate this properties panel. We're going to change the speed to 12, and then we will loop it. All right, go ahead and select out. Now this object, let's bring into our gray space. Over here with it activated, we have our properties. We're going to add a behavior. So in order for this to shoot like a bullet, we will add a bullet behavior. We'll change our speed to 1000. And this part here is really important. The set angle, unchecked. So we want to program that. We don't want the computer to do it for us. Go ahead and select out. Now go to our event sheet, and we are going to start by adding some events. So we can do keyboard controls. We will add a sub event to this group. Keyboard, pressed. So we will go pressed, on key pressed, and we're going to choose our space bar. Select done. So when the keyboard space bar is pressed, we want flips animation. So set animation. We want it to be shoot. So he's going to go into that shoot image. And then we want flip. We're going to go spawn. So when we want something to be generated, we use a spawn command. We want for our coconut to be spawned. And here's what's really important. This is where we use these layers here. We want it to be spawned on layer 1 and at image point 1. So that new image point we created. Now it's going to look like it comes out of the gun. Now on this, we are going to create a sub event. So add sub event. We're going to go flip, mirror, and we're going to change our coconut. So if we are at the left, so if he is in a mirrored position, he's facing left, we want for our coconut the angle. So we're going to go set angle of the coconut. So going to the right is a 0. The opposite then, we want to flip it 180 degrees. Now the coconut will generate from a leftward, from the image point 1 to the left. Let's add a new group. And this will be called coconut collisions. So right click, add group. Select OK. Now off of this, we're going to add some sub-events. So add our sub-event, first one being for coconut on screen. So if we go down here, so if the coconut is on the screen, and we're going to invert this. So right click and invert. So when the coconut is not on our screen, we want for the coconut to be destroyed. So anytime we want an object to no longer remain on our screens or be accessible within the gameplay, we destroy that object. Okay. Next, we're going to do a coconut, sub-event on collision. And here is where we will program how it's going to react as that image is interacting with other images, other sprites. So if it hits a platform, we want for it to be destroyed. So here's that action line. We can simply do Control and drag. We then will do how should it react when it collides with the knight. So this one's a little more intricate. We're going to add a sub-event, coconut on collision. Choose our knight object. Now there's going to be 2 different options. So this is one of those if-else statements. So we're going to right-click and add a sub-event. Select your knight. We're going to test for our variable. So if action is equal to stun, we want for our knight, we're going to have 2 things here. So under instant variable, we want to set the value of our stun time to 3. We then want the coconut to be destroyed. So we can go back up here, hold down Control, and drag this. Off of this, if he's not in a stun position, we're going to add an else. So it's either stunned or not. So an if or else statement. We can then copy these 2 downwards. So if he's already in a stun position and we hit him, it'll reset the timer to 3. If he's not, so if he's in a walking animation, the timer will still go to 3 and the coconut will be destroyed. Okay, we're going to add 2 more actions. So if he's walking, think of it that way. If the coconut collides and he's walking, with the stun time set to 3, we want the coconut image to go away. We want our knight, and here we're going to set a variable again. So if we go set value, and here we want the prev action, which means previous action. And here we're going to go knight dot action. So what this does is it looks into this variable. What was the previous action prior to the stun? And it will use that value then. And then we want knight set value. We want the action to then be stun. So if he's walking and gets hit, the timer will go to 3, coconut goes away. The value of previous action gets stored as knight.action, and then it will go into its current action will be stun. Now, let's go back up to our knight group, because now what we've done is we've now utilized action equals stun. But prior to, we didn't do anything with that. So if we go to the knight group, here we have knight action equals stun, set animation to stun. Off of this, we want to add a sub event. So knight set value. Search for our instant variables. Compare instant. We want our stun time to be equal to 0. So here it reads, if the action stun, the animation will go to stun. As soon as that timer goes to 0, the knight's stun time would equal to 0. We then want to have our knight set value. And what do we want it to be? We want the set value action to be knight dot previous action. So it's going to go back to, in most cases, the walking. That was the previous action. Next, we're going to add another sub event off of our knight group. So come up here, right click, add sub event. This time we're going to use the knight. I'm going to search for those instant variables section. Compare. Now when our stun time is greater than 0, we're going to add a condition. This time we're going to use the built-in timer. If we go every X second, go 1. We're going to want the action to be knight subtract from stun time and 1. So what the computer will do, if the stun time is greater than 0, the internal computer will count down 3, 2, 1. At the same time, every time this runs, this will go, our stun time value will decrease so that we can get back to this 0, and then this will be activated. Now, if you run your layout and you press your space bar, you'll see it shoots. After 3 seconds, they restart. There I tried shooting into a platform. Oh, so it looks like I have my angle off. I'll have to fix that. But otherwise, it should work. All right, before you stop, here's the mistake I made. So go to flip is mirrored coconut set angle. Go back and type motion. So the bullet behavior is what we had to change, not the other value that I did. So set angle of motion, 180, select done. Now when you launch and are facing left, it'll propel correctly. So there you go. That's objective 2.